good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Let's Grow with Yo-Yo show. If this is your first time, I am Yo-Yo, your host. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I thank you for joining. We are here to learn from each other, to get your mind craving knowledge and understanding in different politics, history, life per se. So today we're doing all about Black history, right? Every other week starting this season, we would do a show just pertaining to the Did You Know in Black history. This is totally different. This is something new. And because Black history, right, is American history. And so many people are trying to, so many states, elective officials are trying to take away Black history, African American history. And you can't have the history of the United States without Black history. So I decided that in that we are going to do a show just for Black history every other week. Still gonna talk politics. We're still gonna get into some personal things, but I do not want to negate the fact that Black history is American history, okay? Some announcements to make before the show begins. March 22nd through the 23rd of 2024 is the Well Woman Experience, the Forgive Her Conference. Yay! This is what, the third year that we are doing it. My girlfriend and I, Reverend Renita Hill, we are putting this together. It will be in Hampton, Virginia. I am excited about it. I really am. I am ecstatic about it. We have Pastor Siobhan Smith. If you know who she is, she will be there. She will be on, I think it's Saturday night. Friday, it's a workshop from 10 to 4. And then we have a speaker that night, some praise and worship. Saturday, we'll have, Reverend Renita, I believe, is going to speak on Sunday morning. We have some breakout classes. And then to close us out will be Pastor Siobhan Smith. So I'm ecstatic, elated about it. I can't wait to get this Well Woman Experience. And this is going to happen March 22nd to 23rd of 2024. Now, another thing I'm excited about is Let's Grow with Yo-Yo will host her second Sister with a Purpose brunch. I did it virtually in 2020. I'm sorry, something bit me on my ankle when I was outside with the dogs. Anyway, in 2020, I did a luncheon virtually and got people talking. So next year, in April will be the Sisters with a Purpose brunch. I am ecstatic. I want you all to come out. We're going to talk about things that's happening with women lifting each other up. It's going to be a safe place. I want the women that there to know that they are loved. They are celebrated. We're going to talk about some things that we may hide and we don't want other people to know. But this is for sisterhood. Some people that into mingle with each other and business opportunities if need be. But this is the sisterhood brunch. It will be April 2024. I did not set the date yet. I'm still looking for a venue, but when I do, I will let you all know. But I know it's going to be in April. All right. Tonight's show, and Did You Know in Black History? George Washington Carver. I believe I spoke on him before, but I'm not sure. If you don't know who he is, he was an agricultural scientist and inventor who developed products that used peanuts. Think about that. Not just peanut butter. They use peanuts. George Washington Carver was born January 1864 into slavery in Missouri. Moses Carver, a white farmer, purchased George's mother and him when she was 13 years old. Ooh. It was written that Moses Carver did not believe in slavery. However, he did need help around his farm. I don't think that makes sense, but I digress. Whatever. When George was little, he was kidnapped from Moses Carver's farm, and Moses hired his neighbor to locate Carver and bring him back to the farm. Once Moses Carver found out, um, Moses and his wife raised George and his brother James as their own. So I guess they they didn't believe in slavery, but they must have needed help. I don't know. But they raised these two young men as their own, taught the boys how to read, how to write. And back in those days, you weren't allowed to teach Black folks how to read and write. Being as though George became very sickly, he couldn't work in the fields anymore. So Moses' wife, I believe her name was Susan, taught George how to cook, do laundry, and even garden. Ain't that something? At age 11, George left the Carver's farm to attend an all-Black school, which the Carvers wanted him to, in a nearby town. A Black couple took him in. The wife, who was a midwife and nurse, taught Carver the knowledge of medical herbs and her faith. Years later, Carver moved to Kansas to seek a better education. He wanted to do better, to be better, right? He graduated high school in 1880. In the late 1880s, though, he met a white couple in Iowa. He moved from Kansas to Iowa. And there, they told him to get a higher education, meaning even though you graduated high school, you need to learn more. So they taught him convinced him to go to college. In 1894, Carver became the first African American to receive a bachelor's in science degree. Due to his research on fungal infections of soybean plants, one of the professors asked him to stay for graduate studies. In 1896, Carver received his master's in agriculture. Listen, you gotta love soil, you gotta love plants, you gotta love animals to be in agriculture, right? That's one field that I couldn't master. But I digress. He taught farmers that if they fed hogs acorns instead of commercial feed and enriched croplands with swamp musk, with a type of swamp species mammal, instead of fertilizer, they would improve crops. While doing the research on growing cotton, the soil was being depleted, meaning cotton, they was picking cotton, but because they were growing cotton, it was depleting the soil. The soil was being damaged. It wasn't getting any nutrients in it. That is when he knew that growing nitrogen-producing plants like peanuts, soybeans, and sweet potatoes, the soil would be restored. Carver invented the Jessup wagon, it's like the push wagon, to help educate farmers on crops and soil. Following the crop rotation practice resulted in improved cotton fields and gave farmers alternative cash crops. To train farmers to successfully rotate and cultivate new crops, Carver developed an agricultural extension program for Alabama that is similar to the one at Iowa State to encourage better nutrition in the South. Now, mind you, this is still during slavery times, right? But because of his knowledge and of the research that he did to improve the soil, he taught white crop farmers, African American farmers, how to improve their crop rotation and how to keep their soil from being depleted and messed up. He founded an industrial research laboratory where he and assistants worked to popularize the new crop by developing hundreds of applications for them. They did original research as well as prompting applications and recipes, which they collected from others. Carver distributed this information as agricultural bulletins, like in newspapers, and like the little town, the schools, bulletin boards and stuff. He did that. Carver had been frugal all his life, meaning he didn't spend money. He didn't. And in his 70s, he established a legacy by creating a museum of his works, as well as the George Washington Carver Foundation at Tuskegee in 1938 to continue agricultural research. My daughter loves agriculture; that's her thing. So I'm loving this for her. He donated nearly $60,000, which is equivalent to $1,247,376. That was as of 2022 in his savings to create this foundation. Now, back then, $60,000 got you a lot, right? You were able to establish so much. And if he would equate that to today's money, he would be a millionaire. George Washington Carver died in January 1943 from the complications of a fall. He fell down a flight of stairs. One of the ladies that he knew found him, took him to the hospital. And I guess due to his age, he never recovered from the fall, and he passed. The sources that I got this was the story of George Washington Carver by Eva Moore and, of course, Wikipedia.org. But most of it came from the story of George Washington Carver. That is your Did You Know in Black History. Y'all, I was reading so much on this George Washington Carver, and to think that you can use like soybeans, peanuts, and things to enrich a soil because they produce nitrogen is amazing to me, right? My daughter, who I love dearly, who was FAA, Future Agriculturals of America. That what she was in high school. She was in this thing in college. She loves this stuff, right? So to see someone like him actually love like the plants, the soil, the animals. She likes animals, y'all. She loves animals. And she wants to be a veterinarian, right? But she doesn't want to be a veterinarian that's stuck in a vet office. She actually wants to go to farms and help and teach the farmers about their animals and what they can do to keep the animals right and everything, right? So I encourage all Black young women, young men, sometimes college is not for you, but they do have little trade schools that you could go to. She goes to college because she has to have an actual, medical degree, I guess. That's what it is to be a veterinarian. But even if she decided she didn't want to, she could get a certificate to do agriculture work in the state of Texas. And she wants to be able to have pigs and cows, which I'm crazy about that. I could do the chickens and the roosters. I digress. But I encourage you, all the young people out there, and even the ones that are in college now that didn't think about agriculture, but reading his story, a Black man that contributed to the wealth and health of soil, our pigs, hogs, whatever, that we ate, that we cooked. I think that's amazing. And I think that being a Black woman in today and knowing this story gives me hope that our stuff is not going, his research is not going in vain, and we're able to grow from there. But again, Black history is American history. That is your show tonight, y'all. I am so happy to be back on here and to be back with you all. I will see you next week We won't go into depth of history. We're gonna talk a little bit about politics next week. I thank you all for being here. I thank you for your support. This is your girl Yo-Yo, and I'm signing off. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.